The video game industry moves fast, but we move faster. This is the Turbo Button Show with Darien and Jacob.
Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Turbo Button Show. I'm here with Jacob. And I'm Darien as always. Why is it sad to be here?
You know, I really don't like you that much.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry to, break that news to you here, but...
Cool. Well, this is for the week of December 1st, 2016. Yeah, it's December already.
Yeah, it's almost 2017.
I'm almost 20.
I'm expecting to get really great Christmas presents, especially from you, Darien. If you don't spend at least $200 on me for Christmas, I'll be very upset.
You're reminding me of this one chick from high school. That...
It's not story time, it's news time, Darien. What news stories do we got?
All right, let's start off first with Nintendo.
Wow, there's a shocker.
Oh. They are in the works and making a park attraction at Universal Parks.
This is something we heard about a long time ago, that Universal and Nintendo were working together on theme park stuff.
Yeah.
And then we never heard anything again. Now we do know more.
They're like, hey, we're going to be opening stuff in Japan, Orlando, and Hollywood for Nintendo. But they didn't give any specifications on what IPs or anything. They just said, oh, yeah, we'll give you more information as time goes. And, well, this has been a long project, but it's like, I rather would have wished to hear stuff about the Switch than Orlando parks or like the Universal parks that I can't even afford to visit.
We're going to, when they open up, we're going to save up the money and go. Not something you can miss out on.
You got to be rich and stupid to go there.
Or broke and desperate.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is if they don't have a Kirby buffet, I will be very, very disappointed in them.
That would be kind of disappointing. And Mario. A Mario attraction where you're in a roller coaster that jars you up and down and your head hits bricks and stuff.
That sounds not good.
And we could have a Metroid attraction that when you go through it, it's just a roller coaster again. But every time like you go in the dark, it says, the baby.
It's just a monologue by Samus from Other M.
The baby.
And you just leave and you were disappointed. Just like the real game.
Yeah, just like Metroid Other M.
If they don't have a Luigi's Mansion
that would be
to
stupid.
go through, that would be a pretty big disappointment. And of course, you can't forget the Donkey Kong Country kart ride.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Minecart riding.
It should they should put it on like a hydraulic, and then you would jump over, and they would have a hydraulic bring it over to the next thing. But I feel like that would be accidents waiting to happen and people dying all the time.
And Darien would also be able to achieve his lifelong dream.
What?
Talking about?
What?
Mario Kart in real life.
I don't think they have those kind of attractions at these parks.
Well, you never know. Universal did correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure on this. They did the World of Harry Potter.
Yeah, they actually tore down one of the oldest movie sets. It was, I forget what it is now. But they tore down a movie set that was standing for 90 years to make it.
And, but, people didn't cry too much because apparently, I haven't been there, but the World of Harry Potter stuff is apparently great. And people love it.
The actual people who care about stuff, other than being like excited for 3 minutes at a time after standing in line for a couple of hours, they're kind of mad about that because that was a historical piece of film history that they tore down to make.
Yeah, but my big point with it is they did a good job with the actual construction and immersion, and now we're finally getting something like that for video games.
Yeah,
something that has been underrepresented in theme parks.
Well, we've gotten stuff from Capcom before and other companies.
Here?
Very little.
If anything. But this is a big, huge, multi-million-dollar project and should be really exciting.
And it sounds like it's a long-term thing. Like it's not going to be there for a short time. It sounds like it's going to be there permanently.
Well, nothing's permanent with a theme park, but yeah, a long time, I'd imagine.
But just think, if it's at this theme park for a while and I want to sell it somewhere, just imagine our local, not theme park, but our amusement park could eventually maybe buy one of these attractions.
Okay, enough with the pipe dreams. The important thing with this, the real important thing is, I guess that Nintendo is really showing that they're really starting to open up to working with other companies.
Well, it also shows Nintendo is living up to their thing that they're not a video game company, they're an overall entertainment company. Because they announced, hey, we're not just a video game company, we also make toys, we also make video games.
We're getting movies now.
Yep, movies.
Getting a Detective Pikachu movie.
Theme parks.
Which, little bonus news fact, this week we found out that the director of the Detective Pikachu movie is going to be the guy who directed the Goosebumps movie. Which I did not see, and I don't know if it was good or not, so that could be either a really good thing or a really bad thing. But it's nice to have a little bit of news about that. Hearing Nintendo and movie together in the same sentence is weird.
I just want a dark and gritty Metroid movie that kind of reminds me of the original Alien. That'd be kind of cool.
All right, so what else we got?
Well, it's Nintendo related, but it's more Game Freak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, it's
kind of both.
Yeah. Pokemon Sun and Moon is Nintendo's most successful video game launch of all time. Their most pre-ordered game, their fastest selling game.
In both the United States and in the UK.
And Japan.
Other parts of Europe. Japan it did well in as well.
Yep, it did outstanding everywhere.
I don't believe it did as well in Japan as they expected it to.
No, it didn't
undersold
perform.
A little in Japan, but everywhere else it was the chart topper.
Yep, and I think that the thing to blame for this is Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go definitely had a big part of it. It revitalized a lot of old fans. It brought in a lot of new fans. And
what?
Think about this. There are a lot of people who first experienced Pokemon playing Pokemon Go, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big of an investment to buy, say, a 2DS and one of the new Pokemon games.
Here's a personal...
really easy barrier of entry.
Yeah, here's a personal thing I actually was going to say. You brought up the 2DS with Pokemon Sun and Moon. Mm-hmm. Is I have a few friends that they were never interested in video games or anything, but they bought a Nintendo 2DS to, they were told, Pokemon Sun and Moon is coming out because Pokemon Go, and they were excited about Pokemon Go, but it just wasn't, a full experience for them, and they were just like, I really want a real Pokemon experience. And they heard, Pokemon Sun and Moon is coming out, so they bought a 2DS in advance, a few of them, and then they bought Pokemon Sun or Moon, and then they played it, and they're like, oh my god, I really like this. And they ended up buying even more 3DS games. And some of them are even looking at getting PlayStation 4s or building PCs. And they were never into video games at all.
I think the Pokemon craze is in full swing again. Whether it fizzles out will be largely up to Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo has to realize...
Niantic not being terrible.
Yeah, I feel like Niantic actually not performing as well as people want it to actually pushed people into buying a real Pokemon experience.
Yeah, Niantic's done. In all honesty, I'm still one of the people who plays the game.
I don't even have it installed on my phone.
They've done a pretty terrible job.
Yeah, I got turned off by the game when I couldn't log onto the server at all, and it would log me off. And
there aren't really any performance issues anywhere. It's just judgment calls on their part, changing things, and it's never a good change. Or whenever they do a good change, recently we got Ditto, right? Ditto was great. We're like, yay, something positive, a new Pokemon we can catch. But at the same time, they slip under our noses without telling us, oh, and by the way, we made it so capturing all Pokemon is harder.
Yeah.
So...
And it's hidden as a Pokemon, so it's not one of the best things. And what?
Do you think there are any other reasons other than the success of Pokemon Go as to why Sun and Moon have sold so well?
Pokemon has definitely had a big marketing pitch with the 20th anniversary this year. They re-released Pokemon Generations X and Y for the X and Y series of cards that reprints all of the
evolutions.
Yeah, evolution.
Not generations.
Oh, But Evolutions, which introduced the old art from cards, and that might have gotten people nostalgic. So people might have bought into that, and just the TV ad campaign that I've seen.
I saw a lot of great marketing from Nintendo, actually, for Sun and Moon. They did actually a really good job marketing X and Y when they were coming out as well. Marketing for Pokemon games has almost always been top-notch, with maybe the exception of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I don't think they did that great of a job.
I never saw ads for that game, to be honest, really. Unless it was like an internet banner ad, and I'd be like, what?
I think they did a phenomenal job marketing Sun and Moon, though.
Yes.
I think one of the other major reasons is that Gen 6 was kind of... Okay, it's well known that my opinion is that Gen 6 was the worst generation of Pokemon games. I don't think I've shared that on this show before, but on many of our other shows and other content I've shared that. I think Gen 6 was the worst Pokemon's ever been.
Yeah, it was a small region. It wasn't very memorable.
There are a lot of issues. The linearity, the fact that it was too easy.
The story writing was on the guy's side because like there was a really awkward part with the character, and if you play as a female character, it got a little bit awkward.
But see, the thing is, Sun and Moon fixes almost all the issues I had with the previous generation.
Yeah, it feels like a Gen 5 to, well, Gen 4 was really great, but it feels like a Gen 5 to previous generations.
It's not my favorite generation, and the post-game's kind of lacking, but it's good.
It made me mad. The post-game really made me mad, though, because like they're like, oh yeah, Kanto, we're going to Kanto, and it's like, see you later, and you're like,
why can't I go to Kanto?
I wanted to go to Kanto.
They're
why
definitely
is this
holding some surprises from us, though.
Yeah, it's like, why is this game 4 gigs, almost 4 gigs in size? I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, the music is top-notch sounding. It sounds really great. The graphics are really great. But I've seen games of the same graphical quality and the same music quality be way smaller. And it's not like the Pokemon models take up that much space either, because they could fit almost every single one. Like, they only added like 90. They could fit that within 2 gigs. But where did this size go? I'm trying to figure this out. It's like
something else interesting is there have been several times where a game in the Pokemon series was one of the last big hurrahs for a system.
Yep.
Emerald was a very late release for the Game Boy Advance, right?
Yep.
Black 2 and White 2 were out for the DS way late into the system.
I'm actually going to correct you. It was actually more of a DSi release than it was a DS release. Because it had better enhancements on the DSi.
Not that much. I played it on both. Really, nah. But it was really late into the system's life.
Yeah, it was basically out when the 3DS was out, and it was like, this is our last hurrah, which I feel like the reason that they did Black and White 2 on the 2D or on the DS line is because they didn't know how to develop for the 3DS, and it kind of still shows.
But my point is Sun and Moon are that last hurrah for the 3DS line.
Yep, it's the swan song, I feel like.
But it's a really good one.
Yeah.
There are other game consoles and whatnot that fizzle out. The Wii was a big fizzle out console.
Yep, it didn't have really anything memorable on it that much.
Especially at the end of its life.
It's just like, oh yeah, there's the Wii U coming out. I guess we'll release Wii games and you play them on
the
that.
3DS is, or the 3DS. The Wii U is another fizzle out console.
Yeah, it's not going to... Well...
The thing is, the 3DS is not one. If Sun and Moon turned out to be the last major 3DS games for the system, I wouldn't be upset at all, would you?
I wouldn't.
That being said, are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Let's talk about an 8-year-old game.
Let's see. 8 years ago. That was 2008.
Yeah.
We're talking Metal Gear Solid 4?
No.
Are we talking Pokemon Diamond and Pearl? I think that was 2007.
Yeah.
Are we talking Super Mario Galaxy? That was 2007 too. Darn it, I'm I'm ruining everything.
GTA 4, Grand Theft Auto 4. Okay. What's the news with this? They got a patch on the PC version to make it compatible with new hardware.
PC Master Race, man.
This is like the first time it's actually gotten a patch in years.
Rockstar's always been pretty decent at supporting their older titles and making sure they run on modern hardware.
Yeah, this time around we saw them fix the OS check, so it checks like, oh, you have Windows 8 8.1, 10. Okay, you're fine. It did hardware compatibility, so if you have more than 512 megabytes of RAM, have like a 2 gigabyte like 2 gigs of VRAM, it's not going to freak out and say you don't have enough. And it also has a few other performance tweaks, like minor ones that help optimize it better because that thing does not run well.
I love hearing this kind of stuff. You know why?
Why?
I love video game consoles, but this is one of the areas where PC really shines. So let's say I'm the PC guy, you're the console guy.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 2008. We both buy a copy of Grand Theft Auto 4.
Mm-hmm.
And we both think it's pretty good.
Yep.
But years later, you've sold your Xbox 360 to buy an Xbox One.
Yeah.
Right? And you really want to play that Xbox One or your PS4, whatever you want to have. Your only hopes of being able to play that game that you already own that maybe you really want to go back to would be, one, hope that it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One, which I don't know if it is or not in this specific example, but most games aren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you have a PS4, your only chance is to hope for a remastered edition.
Yeah, or it on PlayStation Now,
Right?
which is not a service for everybody.
No. And the options suck.
Yeah.
Whereas on PC, anytime I say, oh, my PC I built in 2006, it could handle games then, but now it sucks. I'm going to upgrade to a completely new PC in 2010, and it's way faster, but all my games are still there. And then I do the same in 2014, way faster, but all my games are still there. And for the most part, they still work. And even say GTA 4 before this current patch, if it didn't work on my particular set of hardware, I could make it work by just going on the forums and saying, hey, who's got that unofficial patch for me?
Yeah, now Rockstar has an official patch, which I've heard that it is very similar to many of the patches that people make unofficially. And they basically are like, oh yeah, we don't really want to have people go through the hassle. Even though they didn't get rid of the games for Windows?
Games for Windows Live.
Yeah, Games for Windows Live. They didn't get rid of that framework yet, if they're ever going to do that, because I feel like it's a backbone.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of Games for Windows Live. For those of you who don't know, Games for Windows Live was basically Microsoft's built-in PC gaming platform. This was right when Steam was just starting to take off. So it was before, but also after Steam.
Yeah.
And it's basically just built-in DRM with an account system. And I believe it was 2014 when Microsoft officially killed it. And it's caused loads of problems for games that still relied upon it.
Yeah, and Rockstar actually supplies you with the stuff you do need to get around that. So it's not to be really worried about. Right. But it's great to see a company support a game that's 8 years out. I mean, we see mobile versions of games that were released in the 90s from Rockstar get re-released and fixed on PC and stuff like that. So
Rockstar is like the second best company I know of when it comes to keeping up with their games and making sure they work. You know, unless you own a PlayStation 3 and want to play Red Dead Redemption, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
But the best, hands down, and this one hopefully never changes, Blizzard.
Right.
Blizzard still releases on a pretty regular basis patches for Diablo 1. Came out in 1996.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got to make it compatible with Windows 10.
Mm-hmm. A whole bunch of stuff like that. They still occasionally add new content and run new seasons for Diablo 2. You bet they're still supporting StarCraft and StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
So good on those companies. You know, you have other companies, EA, who think, oh, as soon as a game is a month out, well, it's not worth us caring about anymore unless it's DLC.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we have this game out that's out for a year. Time to shut down servers.
Yep.
Man, that's the worst mentality to have.
Absolutely. And it really sucks, but the sad thing is that's the majority of companies now.
Yeah, they don't want to put their resources out or spend money and invest in what people have been investing their time in. But we'll wrap up on the happy note to say, well, GTA 4 definitely lives for a lot longer now
Yes.
on PC.
You can still play it, and you can still go bowling with your cousin on PC, even if you have a GTX 1080.
And if you have a PS3 hanging around, do not get Grand Theft Auto 4 on there because it chugs. So if you're going to play it on PC. Almost any PC can play it now.
All right. Well, I guess that's everything. We've gone through our news stories, some really fun stuff this week. If you guys have news stories you want to share with us, let us know. You can get in touch with us in the comments below.
Yeah.
Find us in the Gaming Buzz community. Talk news there.
If you want to stay caught up with what we're talking about, hit the subscribe button. There's also a little bell next to it when you subscribe, and that gets you every single notification from us. Just going to throw that out.
Always be notified of our videos.
Yeah.
Because our videos are amazing.
So click the subscribe button and the bell next to it.
And don't forget to like this video and let us know in the comments if you're still playing GTA 4.
Yeah.
Years later.
I love its physics.
All right.
Weird.
Well, I think that's everything.
It is.
So, goodbye.
Thanks for watching.
New episodes and other content can be found on TurboButtonShow.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.